It's a live. I'm gonna have to hold my phone like that. Y'all thought Roanoke internet was bad.
Shoot, y'all ain't seen nothing till you come up here.
We die with internet, man. And I was on Wi-Fi, and it's that squirrel ain't running hard today. Apparently, it won't even upload. So it's Prince, 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 Prince. Talk to him, Prince. He ain't studying nothing. So, uh, know this guy. What's up, McGuire? Sean, did you get that trailer tester dude? That link? Sean, quit buying guns, dude. What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all eating turkey today? I tried to convince Emily to just do barbecue. Like, I don't want no turkey, but it's like talking to a rock. Happy Thanksgiving, Jamel. What's up, man? You said happy Thanksgiving, but you fixed it. Ham all the way. Freeport doing a shrimp bowl. That sounds about right for y'all. I'd like to have a shrimp. I could eat that. So, we were this my dad. Y'all, if y'all aren't following his channel, go check it out. It's you can find. I'll put a link down here. But he did a good video yesterday talking about, which we've talked about it before, variations in shingle color. What's up, Porter? Gumbo, dude. Y'all gonna make me want something besides turkey. Did you get off of your drilling rig, my dude? We were talking about this morning something that's just a lot of guys are very interested and intrigued by these other systems like gas powered and air and boosters and stuff. And I talk about it in my class on Fridays as to there's no wrong way really to skin the cat. It's just a matter of, how do you want to do it? How do you want to set your system up? So there's pros and cons to everything. These gas powered systems are getting very popular. Yeah, Sean, I agree totally. 12-volt or booster, pick one of those two. But why do guys that don't know, they just see it or they see somebody do a video about it? What's up, Latero? Why do they gravitate to that?
I guess it's just that man thing, because you watch a guy do a video, and what you see is him pumping out so much volume, and in your mind you think, I can do a job quicker and get it done quicker, but there's a lot of problems with that volume that's coming out. You're gonna have to deal with that volume.
So when you're running something like a gas system, pros and cons, here's some cons. Maintenance costs, initial costs, troubleshooting. You can't really have a spare, it's not cost effective to have a spare system kind of sitting there on hand. But the biggest thing is, as far as doing the jobs, is overspray and wasting chemical.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be a splash and dash guy. You don't want to be known as, hey, we've done videos on the channel where we did a house in 20 minutes, and we can do that on a small, easy kind of, 1,800 square foot cookie cutter house. Me and Dusty, we can roll. I mean, we can knock that thing out, but we're still taking the time to do it right. If you're doing, let me step out and let y'all see what Mom and Dad's house looks like. Dad's done all right for himself. He's got a pretty good sized house. Pretty big. Dude got this house at a steal. He came by my house one day and was like, well, I just bought something. And I thought he was talking about a gun, because that's usually what we're talking about. And he was like, no, I bought this house. It was in foreclosure, and it had sat here empty for a minute, over a year. And the lake is right over there. It's a lake community. So he got it at like a stupid steal. Come on, Prince. Well, we could wash this house in an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. But there's more to it, that when you're washing something, you've got a lot of just work that's not washing. That makes sense? You gotta look at them things. You got your lights, you got your security cameras, you got your door locks, you got your seals and weather stripping. You got to look at all that stuff You got your plants you need to move out, potted plants and all that kind of stuff. So can you, if I go from, let's say, a 12 volt 5.5, right? If I get this other system, man, it's 10 gallons a minute. Well, yeah, that might shave a few minutes off of the application time, but at a certain spot in there, you're going to have diminishing returns because you can't really leave the job any quicker anyways. That makes sense. You've got prep work, you've got to take photos, you've got to do all that other stuff before and afters, you've got to document damage, you've got to, cross your T's and dot your I's, so to speak. So if you're washing a house, man, in an hour and a half, and you're doing, $400 or $450 on a house wash, something like that, then we've washed that house looking across the street. We washed that house a couple years ago. We've washed that house. Dad's obviously washed his house. But if we're washing those two are smaller, we can wash that house in an hour. Two guys, one guy applying with the 12 volt, and one guy rinse. I can put Kim on that house in probably 20 minutes. I mean, I'm on a fan spray. I'm just knocking it down, and then I got a guy coming behind me rinsing. With pressure washer with the ball valve. So it's just, I know so many guys, professional guys. I'm talking about guys that run multi-million-dollar a year soft wash companies, and it happens in the gun world too. Rust, yeah. I didn't see it on Facebook, but it's the same. It's the same thing in the gun world. It's the same thing with basically any guy stuff. They start here, and then they move here, and then they move here, and then they move here, and then they come right back to here. You go buy a Glock, and then you think, well, this thing's a piece of crap. It's really just you can't shoot. And you migrate to CZ and a 1911, and before you know it, you've got a drawer full of holsters and $20,000 in pistols, and really you just can't shoot. And you come back and you get a Gen 3 Glock, and you put some trigger time in, and you're fine. It's the same thing. I've got buddies in the industry that are running $2-3 million a year washing businesses, and they've done the same thing. 12 volts, and they go to booster, and then they go to air, and then they go to gas, and you know what they wind up back at? A 12 volt system, or maybe a booster system. There's pros and cons to everything, guys, but every time you see a video on Facebook, it's not all about, man, I can wash that house in 8 seconds. No, you can't. Not and do it right, because you're going to have a point in there where you're missing stuff. That's why we like 12 volts so much, because here's the pros to 12 volts. They're affordable. You can keep another one on the truck for $100. The worst day you can have is $100, right? Every few months, change them out, put another pump on. Easy to troubleshoot. There's only like half a dozen things to try to look at to fix if something goes wrong. Check your fuses, check your wiring, check your flow, check for air leaks. They get the job done. They're the sweet spot. They're the sweet spot.
Yeah.
If any of you guys play like Call of Duty, I don't play video games because I'm a grown man. But so if you play video games and you build your little avatar, right, your little soldier, do you max him out in one area, but he sucks at everything else? Or do you want to build a guy that you're going to use in the game that's kind of good at everything, right? He's not like maxed out in one area. That's what these gas systems are and some of these other type things. They're maxed out in one area, but on the overall scheme, they suck on everything else. You put a guy with a good rig, 12 volt or booster rig, and a guy with a gas powered rig together side by side and run them for a year. That dude ain't going to make no more money at the end of the year. It's not going to move the needle for your business. It's just not. I just know this. For 20 years of, how long?
32.
32 years. I mean, it's just not going to make any difference in your profits. So it's not that it's wrong. I mean, it'll work, but I don't mind it as an option. What I do not like is people try to make it like the end all be all. It's just not. I mean, they're just pros and cons. As long as you understand them, air diaphragms have their place. They're very nice. If I was going to do a bunch of really tall commercial stuff, absolutely. You set up an air diaphragm system pretty easy. I mean, they last forever, really. And if you had a bunch of super tall buildings, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's great. Mission drives the gear. Mission drives the gear. My brother's in here asleep. He came down last night from Fort Bragg. He was a Marine. Now he's in the Army, and mission drives your gear. You don't pick your gear and then go figure out what mission you're going to do. Well, I really like this saw, this machine gun. Well, do you need that? Like, because if you don't, it's probably going to be more harm than good. Do you need this, or this other thing? You know, if your mission is residential and some commercial every once in a while, then you need a 12-volt system, my dude.
Yeah.
Like, just trust me. Just trust me. Thank me later. You'll be fine. What you want to add?
I just see it a lot. Just everybody comes up with these gas pumps, or the pump runs off the air system, and I watch them. They put a video on, and like the other week, there's a guy on the roof, and he's spraying the fire out of it, but there's so much volume coming out, and on the side of the house, there was so much overspraying on the side of the house. But see, that's things like that is what you need to
You
think
don't know,
about.
but you don't know that if you're a new guy.
Right?
You're not
You
even
don't have no
factored that
idea.
in.
You
Oh
don't know
crap!
how bad that is.
I just
what he's
nuked the whole
actually
side of this house vegetation, but I don't know that because I think I need 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I think the man thing comes into play because we all want a bigger gun, but that's not necessarily the
Freudian
answer
slip.
to the problem.
It's not. It's fine. It's an option,
It's an option.
but understand that it has everything. No matter what you settle on, it's going to be pros. There's going to be cons. It's just the nature of life. There's no end all be all solution. It's just, could we offer, Sean does boosters. I don't fool with boosters. I could do it tomorrow. Could I offer gas systems? Yeah. I mean, it ain't no thing. At this point, I can pick up the phone and call anybody and get whatever I want sent to the shop on a pallet. I've got, that ability, but I don't offer those things because I know that most guys don't need it. I spend probably 3 times a week. Somebody will call the shop, they want a trailer, and they want to add a hot water system. We've put hot water systems on several trailers. The first question I have is, do you need a hot water system? And if he don't have a good answer, I'll try to talk him out of it because that dude's about to drop $5,000 on something that he ain't going to use. Now, is there anything wrong with a hot water system? No, absolutely not. If the guy comes back and says, well, I've got some contracts with gas station. Okay, roger that, dude. It's not that if he just wants a hot water system, it don't mean nothing to me. I'll drop that joker on there and bolt it down. I'm making money. But if he doesn't have a need for it, I'm trying to use 20 years of knowledge and help the guy save some money. We're not the company that you call that's going to try to get you to spend money, okay? I make the same either way. So if you don't need it, I'm going to try to do a little digging and find out, okay, bro, do you really need that? If not, let me save you $5,000. Because you could take that $5,000 and put it towards marketing and make a business, okay? That's the stuff that we don't want to think about because we're so gear focused. We forget the marketing, we forget all that other stuff that really does move the needle. You want to move the needle in your business? Dump $5,000 into a Google Ads campaign. Go do some SEO. Go do what Aaron talks about, and build a couple good blogs. Get you some good marketing materials out there. That'll move the needle. Not a hot water machine on your trailer that you're never going to use because all you do is residential, right? I mean, it's just not. It's not necessary. So I just want you guys, I wanted to do this video this morning because we were talking about it, understand the differences and just pick your poison, but do it from an informed perspective, if that makes sense. So let's see, we got a bunch of guys on here in chat. I hope you guys are having a great Thanksgiving. Sean, they ain't gonna do no maintenance, Sean. You talking crazy, man. The distance is the only thing that interests me with gas. That's true. How much distance can you get? Well, with a 12-volt, we can reach 3 stories. My house is 3 stories tall in the back. I can clean the whole back of my house with a 12-volt. I can't quite get the gables, so I have to get a ladder down to get the gables. So that's a pro. You've got a pro. But is a pro of getting a little bit more distance worth all that other? That's for y'all to decide if you like it, because it's a lot more money and a lot more aggravation. What is the name of your channel?
This Lane Yarborough, our history and roof cleaning.
It's like a really long name. Dad is like, when Dad Googles something, he's like, "Dear Google, how do I find out the thing that I need to know here in Roanoke, Alabama about this thing?" He don't know about keywords. I'll put a link to it down here. If you type in Lane Yarbrough roof cleaning, you should find it. But he just talks about.
Okay, there it is. Lane Yarborough, our history in roof
Flip your
cleaning.
phone around. Let's see. He looked like this. He looked like this. Okay, that'd be him right there. All right, so you can find it. Been cleaning roofs a little while.
I've been playing around with this crap for 32 years.
Long time.
Long time.
Long time. So really, we could say we invented roof cleaning. We could, because there's other people that say that.
Well, there's a lot of folks say that, but we don't know. There's a
We
lot
try
of
to be
folks that
honest.
says that.
Did you invent roof cleaning? Some say that you invented roof cleaning.
I don't know.
Probably a bunch of dudes doing it around that same time.
We just didn't know about each other.
There's a couple guys out there like, by God, I invented this. I come up with it. I invented soft washing.
I will say this,
No.
though. Whether we did or not, I don't know. But I got a story on my channel. It was the first one I put on there, the little video. And I can tell you step by step how we got into it.
Yeah.
And why we got into it.
There was probably a ton of guys in the 80s doing it all
Yeah.
across the country, but you just didn't have the internet, so you didn't know, what other people were doing. So
Yeah, we didn't know.
be wary of people who lay claim to things that they can't prove.
Yeah.
So always be honest. Just
I can say this.
one of the first people,
For,
probably.
For Roanoke, Alabama,
No, for Alabama and Georgia and
Tennessee.
everything south of Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, I would probably. I ain't a betting man, but I'd probably put $100 bill. We might have been the first one. Don't know.
Probably. At least one of the first few people
But
in
here's
the country.
the thing too. In those 32 years of playing around with this, and he's out washing, and what are you using? The 12-volt system. That's my point. We played around with the other things, and
There's just no reason to have
there's
it.
no reason. And the maintenance and the what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to have two systems. You're gonna have a spare whole nother system sitting there.
You can do that with a 12 volt.
Yeah.
Like all of our stuff, except for mini skids, comes standard with two soft wash systems, so you never have downtime. You
And
just
that's what-
fire the other one up and keep going.
That's what makes that a good system. You can pull the line off the other one and keep on going. And the pump, $100. I mean, as far as money, and you're gonna have problems out of any of it.
Let's say you use 5 or 6 pumps a year. Most years we use like 4 pumps. This last year, I think we used 6, kind of, but you have to average. I've got guys that have had a trailer for, this is their first year, not even one whole season. Man, I've used like 6 pumps. Okay, but wait till you've done it for a decade and average it out. One year, you may use 4, to get better at maintaining your stuff and understanding what flushing out really means. But even if you use a pump every other month, okay, big whoop, you spent $600. Let's round it up to 1,000. Swivels, little odd and end fittings. You spent $1,000 on maintenance on your system for a year, and you made $90,000. Like these same guys are telling me, man, I've made $70,000, and they got their system in like March. So that means in a complete year, you're going to be knocking around 100, and that's your first year where you don't know what you're doing. So next year you might make 150,
Yeah.
and you're spending $1,000. So that's a really,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no complaining about.
Yeah.
Guys, there is no other industry in the world that I know of that you can low barrier of entry, you can buy something and start off and hit the ground running and make 6 figures and spend a grand total of 20 hours on maintenance and $1,000.
Yeah.
Like there ain't no other way to do it. My granddad, my mom's dad, he ran a logging company, and my uncle, actually, him and his son, my cousin, they just bought a system from us. They retired out of logging. They did it for forever. Multi-million-dollar profit a year, gross profit. Wound up making 90 grand every year because they spent money on tires and fuel and chainsaws. There's so much. Go do something else and then figure out what real overhead is. There's no overhead in this. It's just frustrating because guys think that they don't have to maintain their stuff. They just buy it once and it just runs till Jesus comes. It ain't like that. But fortunately, it's usually like, no joke, no joke. I've had a guy call that's had a trailer for a year and complain because a barb broke, a plastic barb, a 50 cents plastic barb. He was like, well, it's kind of disappointing this barb broke and I replaced it with a metal one. Okay, what you don't know is you replaced it with a metal one that's going to rust. It was poly for a reason because it's bleach proof. Yeah, eventually it's going to crack. It's a 50 cents. It's 50 cents. It's not a quality issue on the build. That's just how this stuff goes. You run your pressure washer 2 or 3 years or put a swivel on backwards. Man, I had swivel go out. Okay, it's $40. Buy another swivel. That's just part of the deal. But if you're spending $1,000 a year, you're making 100,000. Oh my goodness,
I don't
it's
understand
1%, man.
Yeah,
It's 1%.
There ain't nothing to cry about.
Ain't nothing to cry about. We just have to find something to complain about. Like, there's nothing else. I mean, I can't think of. Go get into lawn care and spend $15,000 on mowers and weed eaters and blowers. You know what you got to do? Replace blades, replace belts, spindles go out.
Yeah.
There's all kind. It's maintenance, man. It's just part of it. But it's yeah, stuff breaks all the time. That motorcycle, it's all the time, especially in what you do. We make plenty of money though. It's plenty. It's 1%. Just put aside a little. If you ain't got the money to replace barbs and swivels, like, you're doing it wrong, dude. What are you talking about, man? Like, it's just silly. People don't want to hold money in reserve. That's right. They don't want to put a little money in reserve. And another reason to put some money back, guys, is, let's say I kill, one of these bushes over here. Do I want to file that on my insurance? No, man. Just put you $1,500 aside. That way, if you bust a window or something, you can just pay for it. But Jonathan Head says his pump ain't working. He just wanted you to know that.
Oh, yeah. You tell him I'll take care of his problem after a while.
Rusty said, it really stinks to have paid off my trailer in 3 months. He got a trailer from us. He's paid it off in 3 months. So now you're in pure profits. All you're buying is bleach and soap. And you know what? Rusty ain't called us the first time. Holler at us, man, next week. Just let us know how you're doing. We had 3 phone calls last week, or yesterday, day before. One a day. And it was just real minor stuff that guys were just, they can't see the forest for the trees. I don't mind it. Call us. We can probably get you fixed quicker than you standing out there just staring at it for an hour. But it's always real simple stuff. So once you see it one time, then you're like, oh, okay, well, that's how that works. It's not, there's no shame in it. But just know, if you have an empty tank, I am going to make fun of you. I still love you, but I am going to make fun of you. Let me check the chat here. Yeah, man, it's just cost of business. Like, Sean takes 10% of every job. Yeah, now that's a lot, which I understand Sean's rationale there, because he's putting 10% aside on every job for maintenance, but then every spring he pretty much buys a new machine. So he just sells the old one, buys a new one.
It starts
Every year he's got a brand new unit.
every year.
And he's still making freaking killing.
Yeah.
And he just don't have to worry about boo-boos in the field. Can I hook my 12-volt to my trailer to get power? Let's see. What's up, John Dykes? He said he subscribed to your channel.
I appreciate it.
So, had a dude, I hope he don't see this video because he's going to know who I'm talking about. Bought a manifold from us. Okay, if you see this video, just understand, I have to say this. He bought a manifold from us. Shipped it out. Dude has, I ain't told you this. This is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. He's got his bleach line plumbed up, his surfactant line plumbed to a tank, and he's trying to figure out a way to not have a water tank on he's got an enclosed trailer, I think. I think that's what he said. He don't want a water tank. So this man...
Oh, they want a whole pipe?
Yes. He has rigged a hose pipe, a garden hose, to the water side, and it's on. Well, his pump won't come on. Well, reckon why? Because the pump is pressurized. The pressure switch is never activating because the PSI from the house is keeping the pump pressurized. So he called and he was like, he was telling us all this stuff about how, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, I don't even understand what you're saying you did. You got a garden hose ran to the water side? Like, how did you even do that? Yeah, well, I just don't think I don't see why you need a tank. Like, well, bro, like, bro, the pump, don't re-engineer things. It's already been done. The pump is designed to suck. You can't have two suction lines and one of them plumbed up to the city 8-inch main out there on the road. Like, I don't know what this dude's talking about. And it took us literally 10 minutes to convince him to buy a water tank, take your hose pipe off of it, and let it pull from a tank. Like,
I will say that
okay,
it was creative.
It was creative.
It was creative.
Okay, whatever. Your ratios would never be right because you're pushed. I mean, there's just so many things wrong with that. But
I just think at the end of the day, 12-volt system is just gonna be it's just gonna be hard to beat. At the end
it really
of the day.
is. It really is, guys. We made our first full-time year. Me and Dusty made $192,000 with a 12-volt system. So, what else do you need? Too many new guys getting in the technical side of the business. It's not complicated. Spray chemical and wash it off. That is 100% right.
That's the bottom line.
Spray that yin and rinse it off.
We just spraying, guys.
We just spray. The guy was talking about, guy called us Wednesday looking at buying a trailer or a skid or something from us. And he had talked to one of our competitors. We shall remain nameless. Softwash system. And they had this man. It was like $40,000 quote for a skid, and then but what got him was all the residual training you had to do all the time, which I like. AC, they got a good company, but they're trying to get this training. Like, well, let me ask you a question: if you done washed for 3-4 years, what you going? That was our gross number. What you gonna train me on? Like, I know it. We're just washing the house. Like, if you run 2 seasons, you pretty squared away on how. Like, I'm not gonna make you think, well, you've got to have our annual training for $3 more thousand to keep yourself certified. You're not a heart surgeon.
No.
You just spraying it in and rinsing it off. Like, it's not overcomplicated. So, all right, I'm gonna let y'all go. My phone's getting low on battery again. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Pick your poison. Doesn't matter what it is. Just understand there's pros and cons to everything. My brother might be waking up. It's 9 o'clock. I think I hear stirring around inside there. So let's see. Running into those old mixing valves cracking. Yeah, they go to GF, man, and just don't worry about them. I mean, they suck. Happy Thanksgiving, Powerhouse. Latero, see you, brother. Be good. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. And is that it?
That's it.
The sun's in my eyes. I can't see no more. But for real, I appreciate y'all following the channel. Anybody that's new, this is like, I'm horrible at this. Like and subscribe, because I never say that. So I think I could probably have 3 more thousand subscribers if I just remember to, like, ask people. So I will. I'll tell my brother that, man. Hope y'all have a great weekend. And Prince, he sleep. He ain't doing nothing. We'll see y'all later, man. Bye.